In this corner, it's the Italian dessert in cookie form. It's tiramisu Oreos.
Yeah,
baby!
tiramisu.
And in this corner, it's the rapper and singer in cookie form. It's Post Malone Oreos.
Post Malone. Who the fuck is that? Post Malone.
It's the age-old battle of tiramisu versus Post Malone. You tried it. You tried that. I'm Nick Noack from the Pal Shade Hancock.
Howdy.
Nick Geiger.
Hey.
They once were fans.
They are
very
still
organized
fans.
chants.
That's what fans do. Fans say, "Who is that?" when asked about Post Malone.
We've gone from to oh.
Yeah, we're dumb.
Yeah, we also used to go to actual matchups. Now we have tiramisu versus Post Malone.
Look,
They don't want me to do it this shit.
No, that is an actual matchup. Okay, first of all, 2 new Oreo flavors, and also these Post Malone ones are like caramel creamish, right? Tiramisu is kind of a cream dessert, so there is a theme there. All right, this is. There's as much connective tissue there as there was V8 versus V8 juice or whatever it was.
Right.
Yeah, those things aren't connected at all. They have the same fucking name.
So do the Oreos. That's what I'm saying.
That's true.
That's true.
All right. Mailbag time. We have an important question here for the mailbag that I know many listeners have been waiting for us to answer.
Hey, this is Patricia from Salt Lake City, and my question is, would you rather be 25% more handsome in the face, 25% buffer, or have a 25% bigger dick?
First of all, that is the nicest sounding voice to ever just shout bigger dick in my ear, I think.
All right, so it's 25% more handsome, buffer, or bigger schlong.
Yeah.
25% more dick. So
All right.
3 feet longer? I don't know. That sounds weird.
All right. So here's the thing. Like the dick thing. Like I'm married, and that's kind of a.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who cares?
Why start satisfying her now?
Exactly.
What a nice. Yeah, she hooked. She's hooked. She can't get away easy.
Yeah. Whatever.
Small deck it is.
I would be inclined to pick the buff thing, 25% buffer, but I actually don't want, like, usually when you're buffer, you're adding muscle mass. It means you're weighing more. I actually don't want to weigh more. I want to weigh less. So if it was like 25% skinnier or like leaner, more toned, that kind of thing, like, then I'd be all about that. Like, sign me up for that. That is about the amount of weight that I want to lose anyways. So I think I am going to have to take the 25% more handsome, which in my case probably just means not being like completely bald. Honestly,
25% is too small of a percent.
Well, hold on. Didn't it say face? Your hair is not on your face.
Okay. Well,
I think that's a fair.
It counts?
Like,
okay.
Yeah, but whatever you think someone would look at your face, shoulders up, and say this guy's handsome.
Yeah, I need like a nice full, luscious head of hair. I think that's the only thing stopping me from being the most handsome man in the world. Probably
25% is not nearly enough for any of us. We
a 1
more.
out of 10. You add 25%. You're still not even a 2 out of 10.
Yeah. Would you like one more drop in the ocean, or? I'd probably say buffer. I mean,
the 25%. Yeah, you're taking it from a really small piece of pie.
Yeah, it's like I'm not buff, make me infinitesimal, like if you're looking at my six pack, as it were, it would just like one little shade of a pencil darker around the muscles, like you wouldn't even notice. But that at least goes to my health and well-being.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dick is just, like Chad said, my wife signed up for this fucking dick. She's got to keep it. My face is my face. Whatever. Who gives a shit? I look like this no matter what. So that's just a little bit healthier is probably the best thing for me, I would think.
I think face, because the body, you could do that on your own, right? Like you don't need a wish.
I could,
to
but
do
I
that.
won't.
Yeah, that's true. These other two are also unattainable because plastic surgery is not going to make you more handsome. It's going to make you look like a fucking ghoul. And
exactly.
You could get a dick enlargement surgery, don't they?
Yeah, those famously work amazing, I'm sure, which is why it's so hard.
I need 25%.
I need 25% more cack. Excuse me?
Get down on the table. I'm gonna make your dick bigger, son. That's the doctor.
Wow.
That doctor's back?
Yeah, that doctor's back.
A highly intelligent sounding doctor.
Oh, so we got two faces and a body. And those are our answers. And
body.
Mentally, we've all chosen dick. So let's eat some Oreos. We got a competition between these Oreos today: the Post Malone and the Tiramisu Thins, both new. Thins is, I think, a little is a tough road here because the thin alone is already a little bit worse than a regular, but they're only playing Post Malone, so
yeah. In general, I think the thin. I mean, there are some people that prefer the thin. Actually, those people are called idiots. No, my wife is one that prefers the thin, but for me, it is tough. But you never know. I mean, like, if the Post Malone Oreos taste like shit, then the thin could easily go home with it.
She prefers the thin, but she married someone with 75% more body.
She likes her Oreos like she doesn't like her men. Thin.
I need about 25% more Oreo with this tiramisu.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys like tiramisu? I'm not a huge fan of tiramisu.
No.
I know a ton of people that love it.
Yeah,
but I never order it.
I've never had a tiramisu that I like.
The Post Malone Oreo has the first off, the tiramisu is just a regular thin with what looks like a very light brown cream in the middle. The Post Malone has a dark cookie on one side, a light cookie on the other, and then sort of like multicolored in the middle with a darker brown and lighter brown. Does it say on the package what we're dealing with there?
Yeah. Postie's swirled salted caramel and shortbread flavor cream. So the cream does actually have a semblance of a swirl, and it looks like a swirl drawn by my 3-year-old, but it is there.
Mine
does not have
some
that.
Fucking Picasso or something. What did you want?
It's machine drawn. It probably should be good.
All right, you talked me into it.
All right, Chad, what's our scale?
Maybe it is machine drawn, like AI art.
Yeah,
There's always something wrong with it.
It's a Banksy Oreo.
Yeah. Geiger did ask before the record if we had a Oreos mini scale, and it's been a while since we did a mini, so I forgot that I'm supposed to come up with a scale for these things. But we do have a Malone based scale. This was Geiger's suggestion. Blame him, but I think it's a good one. We pick one of the 3 Malones, the 3 famous Malones, to rate these. Starting at the bottom, of course, the worst Malone, Karl Malone. The middle rating, and the only reason he's the middle rating, maybe he's worse than Karl, I don't know, but it's because we literally know nothing about him. and that is Post Malone.
Mhm.
The only thing I know about him is face tats. That's it. And, of course, the top rating, the best Malone. Everyone knows this famous topical Malone, Sam Malone from Cheers.
That's right.
Ted Danson
Former-
seems like a genuinely nice guy.
Former Red Sox pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say he does. I do like Ted Danson a lot, actually.
Karl Malone, famously a deadbeat dad. Loved several people. Like, just a piece of shit.
Loved several people. Is that what you said?
Of several people.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, right. Deadbeat dad, but he did make love to several people. So there's that.
He chose 25% bigger dick.
And ended up with 25% more out of wedlock kids.
I can only assume the 6'8", 250-pound Karl Malone is somewhat of a schwanz. Like, he's probably rocking some dick.
If you're just showing up with these traits too, dick's the only one that's not going to raise suspicion, right? Because no one's going to notice what's going on. But if
Showing
I
up where? Like, at the mall?
to work,
Yes.
like on Monday, right? Like suddenly I look different. Like it's people are just going to assume I had plastic surgery.
They just assume I am wearing a wig. Chad's got a hairpiece.
Pull my hair.
Just assume I stuffed several socks down my pants when I show up with a huge bulge.
But if you show up buff, yeah, you're gonna. I guess they could just think that you worked out.
Again,
That's not believable. I couldn't even get it out with the straight.
Whoa, Geiger got swole. Oh, check it out. I always look at my coworkers' muscles, actually. That's something I do frequently. Comment on their appearance as much as possible.
I work 25% or even more from home anyway. So, like, it's possible that I've been wearing baggy sweatshirts and then I just showed up and I've got.
You asked for 25% more homework?
Yes. Yeah. I want to. The deal is you get 25% more buff, but you can never show a soul. It's just for you. I'm a shut in.
All right, Geiger.
I did a makeshift double stuff here. Just
Ooh.
had to put that on record.
With
Okay,
both?
how'd it go?
I haven't done one with the tiramisu because my tiramisu cookies are like soft. Are you guys? I think because I opened them before I mailed them to you, they're a little stale. So I couldn't pull them apart. But I did it with the Post Malones.
Okay. The
That's
Post
it, just
Malone cream
FYI.
is that weird oily cream that we get in a lot of these novelty ones. It's not the same as the white cream.
All right, Geiger. Which Malone do these cookies most line up with?
Most Malone. This is tough for me because they both, like, obviously I can tell that, like, if I just blind taste tested them and you told me there was a difference, I kind of not sure I could tell. Like, obviously one's thins and one's the regular.
Really?
Beyond that, they just taste generically sweet to me. They both do. I'll start with the thin tiramisus because that's the one I ate first. I don't prefer the thin. I think, like Chad said, he said what needed to be said when he said his wife was insane for liking the thins better. That's just, then don't eat Oreos. Just eat something else. That's not what it was intended to be. I don't like tiramisu. I think the flavor does taste somewhat tiramisu-ish, and that's not a great thing for me. So I am going to give these. They're not horrible. I want to paint them with this horrible brush. I don't think they're good, so I am going to give them a Karl Malone. I don't want to have them at all. The Post Malone, I ate two. I always try to eat one like a regular cookie, just crack into it, and the other one I separate the cookies and lick the cream out. I just don't. It's just a mishmash of flavors. I don't quite get it. I had heard from someone these are good. I don't remember who told me that.
I've heard that from multiple people actually that have tried them.
Yeah, that they like them, and they're okay. And I got kind of excited. I'm like, oh, these might be really good. And they're fine. I think I'll give them a Post Malone, which is, apropos, I guess. The Post. These
I
Post
will be
Malone
giving
Oreos
the
are
Post Malone Oreos a Post Malone.
I suppose that is kind of what we signed up for when we made that rating scale. I think they're fine. And they are the correct size cookie. In theory, more cookies where they have like one chocolate and one golden is kind of interesting.
Yep.
The cream in the middle is just generically sweet to me, and I don't notice like shortbread and salted caramel, all the stuff they said was in there. Maybe I'm mistaken and I needed a palate cleanser in between, but just kind of blended together for me. So Post Malone for that one, Karl Malone for the thins.
Chad?
I agree with some of the points that Geiger made. I think I would like the tiramisu actually less if it was a full-size Oreo. I think the thin form factor is actually working for it here because I think the flavor accuracy for it is pretty good. It does remind me of tiramisu, which, like Geiger, is a dessert I don't really care for. So more cream like that, I think, would bring it down a little bit. But having just kind of that hint of tiramisu is okay. I don't really like them all that much. Like, I'm not going to go back and eat anymore, but it is enough for me to just barely squeak these tiramisu Oreos into a Post Malone. Now, as for the Post Malones, those I really like this one chocolate, one golden cookie.
Yeah.
I think that's great. The thing holding the Post Malone Oreos back for me is the cream, which is there's just too much going on with the cream. It just is ultimately kind of generically sweet and therefore worse than the regular Oreo cream. Like I think the flavor's pretty good, but like I can't pick out the caramel really or the shortbread. So like why bother? They seem to like cancel each other out. I would have said pick one. You know, you don't need the cream to look like your face all tatted up. You know, just like a solid color through. So I am also going to give the Post Malone.
You think he made these
in his own image,
fresh baked?
Post Malone's got like a bit like oven mitts. He's just pulling each tray out and putting it in the package and shipping it.
Yes,
to Chad.
He made them in his own image. On the 6th day, Post Malone made the Post Malone Oreos. Anyway, I will give the Post Malone Oreos a Post Malone, but it is a higher Post Malone than the tiramisu Oreos, which were a lower Post Malone. I prefer the Post Malones slightly on this Post Malone scale.
Okay, the tiramisu are not good. I don't like the flavor. More cream would make it worse. Like, it can't win here because if it's a regular size, it's going to taste worse because it'll have more of the shitty cream, and thin is just a bad format. So this is a Karl Malone.
Mm-hmm.
These Oreos loved a lot of people.
These Oreos have many deadbeat. They're a deadbeat Oreo for many Oreo-lettes.
These Oreos had a lot of success in the regular season, but could never win the title in the playoffs.
The Post Malone Oreos are tasty. I actually like them quite a bit. So whoever told you they were good,
okay,
I do agree with them. I do think
I think they're good too. Yeah,
the black and white cookie parts are great. I know the cream is not necessarily discernible. I think they probably could just give it some kind of flavor name, a generic flavor name, and that would be fine. Like
Post's cum cream or something like that.
yeah, that's something generic like that.
Like vanilla or cum cream, you know, that's one of the two.
That could be anything like vanilla or pre-ejaculate, you know, anything you think of. Man.
Just something generic like DJ Khaled's Jism or something.
And another one.
These Oreos don't muff dive.
These Oreos delicious. I would like to scream my name over the top of them.
P. Diddy just repackages Post Malone's Oreos and just yells "Diddy" over them as you eat them. That's just so
Well, that's not the smartest marketing idea right now.
Yeah. Well, look, I didn't sign the deal.
Hey, we signed the contract. We got to can't let it go to waste. We got to use them in our commercial.
we got all these Jared from Subway Nilla wafers over here. We got to unload too. Shit, that was a miscalculation.
I got these Cosby Chips Ahoy. What am I going to do with them?
It puts the chips in the Ahoy.
We
Guys, any more famous?
famous Jeffrey Epstein Amos cookies. We're gonna put them on the shelf. Bad year for the cookie.
Yeah. They really made a series of missteps.
Got these Jeffrey Dahmer soft batch over here. What am I doing with those?
The EL Kevin Spacey fudges. I like how Dahmer's in it. He's just a fucking straight up serial killer.
What did they think? They signed him before he killed people.
They're like, this guy's got potential.
We happen to have an endorsement with the BTK killer before we even knew he was a bad guy.
He's an up-and-comer. He's going to be making a lot of headlines very soon. I'm sure of it.
Every celebrity we pick does something shitty. I'm opening the phone book. Spin here. Dahmer, Jeffrey, go get him.
Go get him. Find out what he's up to.
Whoops.
Oh, shit.
Dope-de-do.
All right. I think these are good. I think this is one of the better Oreos I've had in a while. I'm going to give these a Sam Malone just to show how much I like them.
Mm-hmm.
And we all did prefer the Post Malones today. So they are the very clear and easy winner. And I think we all agree that there's something to like about them. So don't hesitate to maybe give them a shot if you see them. Geiger, the listeners.
Yeah.
Clamoring
Where they could eat some Post Malone rated Post Malones. If you are also have the last name of Malone, I'm trying to think of any other famous Malones, and I really can't. So never mind. But if you are Carl Malone, Post Malone, Sam Malone, any other Malone, let us know where you think you would rate among the three of those. If you've ever tried the world famous Chips Ahoy Harvey Weinsteins, let us know what you thought of the taste. Let us know what you tried at gmail.com. You can suggest a snack for the mail or a question for the mailbag. You can, like the lady did tonight, which we appreciate. If you want to suggest a snack for us to try, if you want to tell us that we were all wrong about our ratings, you can do that. We're also on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. If you think this is something your friends and family will enjoy, we would appreciate you passing it along. And as always, thank you for listening.
All right. What would you say is the excuse for Nutter Butter using John Wayne Gacy?
They thought they were signing the real John Wayne, but they got the Gacy one instead.
Tactical error. Shit, that backfired. Should have read the rest of the contract where it said Gacy right after that.
We have talked about this coming up. Like Geiger and I spoke not that long ago about buying a jersey for an athlete. And then, like, lo and behold, that athlete does something terrible, and you can't wear the jersey around anywhere.
I have had bad jersey luck. I remember, so my mom would say, and back when jerseys cost $40 or whatever, she was like, I refuse to buy you a Packer jersey. I'm not buying you a $40 shirt. If you could buy that, you know, you can. If you can afford that, you can do it with your own money. So I saved up my allowance for like forever, like over a year, and I bought a Sterling Sharp jersey for the Packers because he was my favorite player, and he like broke his spine like 4 weeks later. Like it was, and then I mean, he didn't turn out to be a jerk.
You could still wear his jersey.
Yeah. But I mean,
I don't wear jerseys of pussies. Broke his
get
back.
on the field, or you don't get my support.
I mean, you probably have a bunch of Favre and Rodgers jerseys, right?
I was just gonna say I have multiple Rodgers jerseys. I've got a Favre jersey that I can't wear anymore. And look, Rodgers is at least like people that make the equivalency of Favre and Rodgers. It's not the same. Like Favre is a complete and horrible, like cheated on his cancer-stricken wife. Defrauded the state of Mississippi.
Never did ayahuasca though, so you know.
Never did a darkness retreat. That's true. So yeah, I have always been like my last jersey purchase. I think I was telling Novak about this. I landed on Reggie White, who still kind of said some racist stuff, but is dead. Like he can't do anything else wrong. Like unless like posthumously we find out that he in fact was the Green River Killer. Then I'm fine.
Well, you did have that Jeffrey Dahmer Seattle Seahawks jersey.
Yeah, I had that Jeff Epstein New York Mets jersey.
I got that 49ers Zodiac Killer. I got that one.
It just says Zodiac on the back.
I also got my Elon Musk jersey. You can't wear that anymore.
No, you cannot. Do you guys remember the Ron Mexico stuff?
Yeah, of course.
That's one of the greatest stuff. Michael
Best
Vick
story
famously went to a VD clinic and under the assumed name of Ron Mexico, and then people were making number 7 Falcons jerseys with the name Mexico, and the NFL shut it down. Like they're like, no more. You've had your fun.
Okay. So the winner today was the Post Malone Oreos.
Let's all go get our Post Malone jerseys right now.
Yeah. Malone's an actual name, at least. That would work.
So would you more likely wear a Karl Malone jersey or a Sam Malone jersey?
It just says Malone. This is for Sam, I swear.
Actually,
I think it exists because he was a Red Sox pitcher in the show.
Oh, sure.
It would be funny to wear a Sam Malone jersey.
I think it's a much better choice.
I own a Karl Malone jersey, and I do not wear it because he's a pile of shit, and I probably don't fit in it. I have 25% extra body.
All right. That'll do it for this time. We'll be back with the regular up next time. We'll try out 3 brand new.
Deuces.
Yep.